water, earth, fire, air.
This should be pretty obvious to anybody who's seen the movie. 3 reasons why the M. Night Shyamalan live-action remake of The Last Airbender is secretly super genius. 1, it proves that white actors have nothing to worry about. You guys will always have jobs in Hollywood, so just relax, breathe. You guys have job security for life.
Oh, thank God.
2, if you are a screenwriter and you think your writing's dog shit and Hollywood would never greenlight such a thing, good news for you. If they got this shit passed, you're way ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Finally, Netflix, bro. You got this. You got this. I know people clown on you all the time for your live action remakes, but it is virtually impossible to fuck this up more than this guy did. So you've got that to fall back on. All right, my friends, let's take a horrible, soul-crushing, eye-gouging, ear-splitting journey through the movie that is M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender. Before we begin, there are 3 things you must know about me. 1, am I a fan of The Last Airbender? Yes. 2, do I understand that movies that are adapted from various source materials need to make changes and edits accordingly to fit the movie format? Yes. 3, do I stand Zuko and everything that he is and ever will be? Fuck no, that's tough. So the movie begins with the latest Twilight novel being read back to us as the opening narration. Riveting stuff. Then we see that Katara and Sokka have been kidnapped and replaced by these pasty-looking people. Even with that long-ass narration, we're still missing like this key detail of what happened to the real Katara and Sokka. I mean, come on, you guys didn't catch that? She doesn't even have the hair loopies right.
Hold it! What the hell is that shit?
But anyway, the body switchers find a giant iceberg and a boy inside it. This one doesn't even deny that he's not Aang. I don't even know why people are so pressed about that. He even says it.
My name is Aang.
For some reason, no one has any personality in this movie. Like, you can tell that they're reading a teleprompter behind the camera.
What's your name? How did you get here? How did you get in the ice?
He's exhausted.
Aang here has no real reaction to meeting Sokka and Katara. And likewise, they have no feelings towards him either. So then the ships arrive, and it looks like India wants its turn to be the Fire Nation. So they take Aang for no other reason besides that it looks like he could be the protagonist. But now that I think about it a little bit more, I'm guessing it's a valid reason. Like, if you looked at this lineup and you know you needed to capture the main character, who are you gonna go for? Yeah, that's right. No one cares about you, Joey, Taya, Tristan. It's all about the guy who can poke your eye out with his hedgehog hair. So I guess they're trying to figure out if he's the Avatar with this weird test, putting in front of him 4 different elements and seeing how he reacts to them. I imagine that they've had to do this test to like numerous amounts of people, and this takes too long for its own good. Like, they should really just consider bringing this tray around and just like using it as like a metal detector for people. And technically, they don't even really have to test all 4 elements. As long as you can bend more than 1 element, that means you're the Avatar. Work smarter, not harder, guys. Anyway, this doesn't really make any sense because Aang later says that he was never taught to bend the other elements, so I don't know how he's starting to make all these things move if he was never taught how to do that. This test really shouldn't have worked, but at this point my brain's bleached, so whatever, I'll roll with it. So Aang escapes as if he couldn't really do that in the beginning, and beats up a few Stormtrooper-esque Fire Nation guards on his way out. The 3 of them fly over to the Air Temple where Aang, it's so hard saying that name by the way, which is where he was before he got trapped in the iceberg. And then they accidentally stumble onto a masked grave? Like, definitely not expecting that weird change in tone. And definitely not like that. He goes into the full Avatar state, and the girl that he's had no connection up until this point is somehow able to call him back to it. Your guess on how is as good as mine, because they barely exchanged like 5 lines to each other at this point.
How'd you get all the way out here?
I ran away from home. I could take you back to the village.
We're going with you.
This is where you live?
They must be playing some trick or something.
Is it okay if you tell me your name?
The monks named me Aang.
Your friends were monks?
I know where they are right now.
Who wrote this?
Then they head over to a random Earth Nation town, and apparently the driving point of this story so far is the mystery of whether he is or is not the Avatar.
So, are you the Avatar, Aang?
Like, I have to say, why is this a thing? You've wasted about 30 minutes on this fake mystery because we all know that he is the Avatar. Even by the movie standards, we knew this because he passed that test with the 4 elements. So why is he keeping the secret from Sokka and Katara? Is it supposed to be a character arc? Because it wouldn't really make sense for them to follow him around if he wasn't the Avatar. So why are we pretending that we don't know? Anyway, so they make some really bad cringe humor, and it's enough for them to get arrested, which I'm kind of okay with. They get taken to an earthbender prison where the entire prison is surrounded by rocks. The earthbender prison only works in the context of the cartoon because they took the airbenders and put them on a metal ship in the middle of the ocean. They could not bend any rocks because of that. But anyway, apparently in this movie, all that they were missing was like a motivational speech, so Aang was here to give that.
You don't need to live like this. There's Earth right beneath your feet.
That is brand new information!
And finally, it's revealed. Aang is the Avatar. As if we didn't know that before. The Fire Nation guards start running away because they want nothing to do with this whitewashing of the movie. So they go, but not before we see how neutered the earthbenders are. Apparently it takes like 6 or 7 of them to move this tiny rock. If anyone creates a mind wipe device out there, I'm gonna want to use that for this scene in particular. Then we see our heroes waving their arms around in the air, taking away precious screen time from actual character development. Then we jump over to the Fire Nation. And apparently they don't care about keeping the Fire Lord Ozai in this dark, mysterious aura around him. They just want to show you that he's like the everyman. Your best friend's uncle made it into the movie. He looks like a nice guy, doesn't he? Then Aang decides to ditch Sokka and Katara because they never really had any connection in the first place. Totally get it. And he heads over to the air temple to hopefully get someone to talk to him about the psychedelic LSD dragon he's had in his head. But oh no, it's a trap. Looks like your best friend's uncle's buddy set a trap for Aang. And he's kind of just like, alright, whatever. Just take me out of the movie already. I'm done with this. End the suffering. But then the blue spirit comes to spring him out. The 2 of them escape, but not without Zuko getting smacked in the face. Now here's the moment you think that the 2 of them would have this very important scene where Aang talks about he had a friend from the Fire Nation before the war even began, and how maybe if the circumstances were different, him and Zuko could have been friends. But the creators of this movie thought, no, that is too early for Aang to start developing a personality, so we're gonna scrap that. Finally, they head over to the Northern Water Tribe. And this girl's hair is definitely not what you think it looks like. I'll tell you what it actually is. It's a mushroom. So they decide that Sokka and the princess should have their love story, but they didn't really want to let dialogue happen between them, so they had Katara narrate that.
My brother and the princess became friends right away.
Nothing like a sister to talk about a brother's lover to make it any less awkward than it already is. They spend more time wordlessly practicing martial arts, which honestly would be cool if it didn't grind the plot and the characters to a screeching halt. The Fire Nation attacks, as they do, and they kill the Moon Spirit, which sends Uncle Iroh into a burning rage. This is supposed to be impressive, but it's really not. Like, cartoon Zuko would be like, bitch, Fire Nation babies could do this in their sleep. So the only way to make shit right again is for Princess Storm to make the ultimate sacrifice and give her life back to the moon so the Moon Spirit can live again. I always said this, it is lucky that they have a backup spirit, by the way. Like, I think all spirits should do this just in case. Boom, boom, boom. 20 more minutes of pure cinematic hell. Then the movie ends and we see your friend's uncle after his 10th slice of pizza in full daylight telling his daughter to accept this new mission he has. So she's saying yes while shaking her head no.
Why have I seen this thing 3 times?
So as you can see, this is why I say that this masterpiece has so many layers of genius wrapped all around it. Now you guys have to be really honest, okay? Did you know how much you love Team Avatar until you saw this movie and how badly they had stripped away all personality? You've probably never appreciated them more. Like, before watching this movie, I was like, yeah, Aang's a likable, nice guy. And after watching this movie, I'm like, oh my god, where's the snark? Where's the funny? None of that was in here. But I was actually able to think of those things after watching this movie because I was just like, wait, Aang was really all of those things, wasn't he? For real though, it is really hard to watch. I can't even recommend it like if you were shit-faced drunk or ungodly high, because it won't even satisfy you like visually.
Why don't we just get rid of the tape and pretend it never existed?
I could do that.
Okay.